moment to find your seat, to bring your sitting bones back and apart so that you have that little lumbar curve. And I often recommend that you just take your back of your hands and just stripe them up from your tailbone until you feel that sweet little lumbar curve, and then just kind of rest your hands there. And the movement of the sacrum goes in and up, so you can start to feel into the tipping of the pelvis, and you can close your eyes, and you can start to feel the tipping of the pelvis move you from the back or the center of your sits bones to the front edge. And then you just breathe in there. Now that's only the first part of the story, but that's the important first part, and that's always the first part of the story. No matter what pose you're in, you always work for spinal extension first. And then you pick up the abdominals and move them back. So the belly moves in and up, the ribs move in and down, and even the sternum moves down. So you can keep one hand there on your lumbar spine, move the other hand to your sternum, and as you breathe and lengthen your spine, you'll start to migrate energetically, not physically, energetically, those two hands towards one another, so that that action meets somewhere in the middle. And as we work with our theme this week, which is staying with discomfort, this is a really important action. So I want to make it really clear to distinguish between the discomfort that is pain that should be listened to and the discomfort that is the body opening. And usually when we find our core in the pose, when we find that lumbar moving in and up, the core matching it, and the extension of the spine, then usually that keeps us safe enough. But the way we determine which is the scary feeling, pain, and the just uncomfortable, annoying pain or discomfort is that the more dangerous pain is sharp and quick, and it makes you want to gasp. And the deeper, more annoying but discomfort that is important to learn to work with is more achy, more broad in its expression, not so pointed, and you can breathe through it with deep, deep, full breaths. So go ahead and release your hands now and take them straight out to the side for just a big opening stretch. And you can gently wiggle your fingers just to open up this heart channel. And then you can make sure that your neck is over your heart space, over your pelvic space, so you have that nice long spine. And the back of your neck is softly moving in. And then you take your right hand and just hover it in front of your heart, facing the left. And then you take your left hand and hover it over the heart, but this time the back of the hand is towards the heart, and you'll interlace your fingers. You just grab. So it's like a little C grab there. And you'll begin to pull on your fingers until you feel the muscles engaging, and you breathe in. And then you exhale and breathe out. So we'll continue this. This is called Ganesha Mudra. So begin to inhale as if you could inhale for about 5 counts. And then release the effort and exhale for approximately 5 counts. And continue, inhaling, pulling. And I want you to pull till you feel a little discomfort in the body, and you want to let go, but you're going to go for that full 5 count breath. And then you release for the 5 count breath. And just make a mental note of where you feel that pull. Keep going, inhaling. And exhaling, releasing all effort. We've got 2 more like that. Inhale as you look at the third eye point. Just Get really clear in that breath and that pull, and exhale, release. We've got one more. Inhaling deeply. Really pull there at the end and exhale completely. Let your hands gravitate towards the head of your shoulders and circle your arms around. And inhale as you bring them up and exhale as you bring them down. And can you slow it down to match the breath tempo? So you begin to explore that full circumference, the full movement range of your shoulders, and often it's really nice to go a little bit more slowly. So you start to feel where the sticky places are, where the muscles are forgetting to engage, where it's difficult for you. We've got one more circle in breath practice. And then just release your hands down to your lap and take a pause and take a feel. Let the mind's eye wander inside into the body to get really clear, and we'll begin second side. So we inhale our arms out to the side. We'll pause here and just gently wiggle the fingers to open up the heart meridian. So Ganesha in the Hindu pantheon is the entry god. He's the god, he's the elephant, he's the one that they first worship before they go to the other gods. And his symbol is the remover of obstacles. Many of us have heard that. So as you go into the second side, you just reverse the hand clasp. So the right hand is closer to your heart than the left hand. And I want you to pause for a moment before we begin this pranayama and mudra. This is a mudra, this hand gesture. I want you to think of something in your life that feels like an obstacle. And I want you to just make that your offering here. So as you inhale slowly, you'll begin to pull. And as you exhale, you'll completely release. And see if you can picture that obstacle or that hardship or that something that's uncomfortable for you. And just pull into it, see it. And you can imagine it's like opening up, release a rusty gate or a really fixed door, and you're just working to open that up. Inhale, pulling. And exhale, releasing. Two more. Inhale, pull, really pull. Open up that rusty gate to get beyond that uncomfortable feeling. And exhale, release. Last one. Inhaling to pull. And exhale, release. Let your hands migrate to your shoulders. Inhale, elbows float to sky on your long breath. And exhale, they come back around on your exhale. Keep going. Inhale. See if you can match the movement with your breath. See if you can move through those places. They're a little bit tighter, a little stickier. Just enjoy this full, big, deep inhale and exhale. We've got one more. Listen to it through your nose. Beautiful. Release. Let your hands float to prayer. Take a moment to make an offering. Maybe again, that obstacle. Make that your offering for your practice. And then bow. Offer it. Let it go. That's what offering means. Letting it go. Inhale, come all the way up. We'll seal that with a breath and an om together. Gently blink open your eyes. You're going to reach for your strap. You're going to take your legs out in a V and just kind of shake them out. I'm going to wiggle them in and out, just get them loosened up. And then we'll do a couple ankle circles. Letting your toes, thinking about your feet, your toes, cleaning out the inside of the rim of a barrel or a pot or, yeah, something like that. You can add your wrist too, why not? And you go kind of slowly and really think that you're just cleaning out that inner rim of something. Go the other way. And I really recommend slowing down, not my forte. It's a really great one to practice. And then you're going to release that and bring your legs into the opposite crossing. Take your strap and make your loop nice and wide. So you're going to be generous with yourself at the beginning. So generosity is really good as we face uncomfortable things. I'm going to be super generous. My fingers are on the inside, but my thumb is on the outside, and my hands are facing out. And you'll notice that my elbows are soft. They're not locked up. They're just soft. And I'm going to begin to press on that strap and integrate my neck into the length of the spine. Because what I find is really common as we open the shoulders, we jut the head forward. So I want you to bring that in and feel that lumbar spine lift, that core activation, and then you're going to just gently bring your hands behind. And you don't have to go all the way or any way, you're just doing that first stretch. And that first stretch tells you, is my strap too narrow? Because if it's too narrow, then you're going to be struggling. So go ahead and adjust it if you need to. Otherwise, in this nice tall spine, we press on the strap and we start to bring it back, keeping the neck integrated in the body. And maybe you can take it a little lower. You're always pressing. You want to keep that strap taut, and then you inhale to bring it up. And again, remember, we go slowly. We just feel where that uncomfortable place is of the shoulders, and then we draw in core. We draw in the length of the spine. We get really patient, and we feel the stretch. Or keep that band taut. Last breath. And then inhale, bring it up. This time you're going to keep the strap taut, and you're just going to take yourself over to the side. So I'm not lifting my right hip off of the mat. I'm keeping it on the mat, but I'm pressing those straps taut. Good. And then I'm going to root down my right sits bone to climb back up. Take a breath there. Here we go, second side. So you're pushing on that strap. You're keeping the left sitting bone anchored, so you really get a nice stretch through that side body. And then root down that sitting bone and pull yourself up out of there. Beautiful. And then just release the strap down and roll the shoulders. Take a cleansing breath. Okay, within this, we're going to be here sitting for a little bit longer. So if this gets to be achy, switch your crossing, or you can come into Vajrasana if you want. We're going to move into Gomukhasana, which is a cow face pose. We're going to make a cow face. So you're going to take that strap and put it over your left shoulder. You'll take your left hand and turn it palm face up in front of you. Your other hand is going to make a little C clamp. And you're going to grab that bicep and you're going to turn it outwardly. That means that the thumb rises, right? And you'll just notice how you don't want the thumb side of the hand to drop down. You want that hand to stay equal, like you're holding a tray of goods, so that you don't drop it. You just feel the rotation of the upper arm bone. And then from there, inhale that up overhead. And just notice as you go up, it gets a little harder to maintain that external rotation, but try, breathe, and then you're going to bend the elbow of that extended arm until you pat yourself on the back. You'll bring your other hand to the elbow, and I like to drop my wrist onto the crown so that I have something to press up into, and I just gently pull that elbow up to sky. And if I can remember the external rotation direction of my upper arm bones, I try to put that in there. One more breath. Good. And then keep that. Release the left hand. Take it down to the side and turn it inwardly. So the thumb goes down to the floor. And then you reach it up behind the back and you find that strap that you put over your shoulder. There may be some of us that can actually reach our fingertips. If you can, reach your fingertips. Otherwise, hold on to the strap with both hands and pull gently. So the lower arm, the arm that's up the back, that arm spins inwardly. That's inward rotation. The upper arm, that's outward rotation. And we've got one more breath here as the top elbow drives up and the bottom elbow drives down. Beautiful. Gently, slowly release out of that pose. Swing your arms out to the side. Take your right arm over your left arm and double wrap or single wrap, back of the arms together or all the way around. Squeeze those elbows together as if to spread apart the shoulder blades, and draw the chin in here so that the neck is still in line with the expression of the pose. Inhale deeply, lift the elbows, get longer. Exhale, drop elbows to sternum and just round the upper back. See if you can squeeze it in there. It's not so easy. Stay for another breath through that uncomfortability. And then inhale, glide your arms back up, straight up into the sky, and do a big, big sweep as far back as you can comfortably go. And then rest your hands on your lap, take a cleansing breath. And if you'd like to switch your crossing here, that's probably not a bad idea. You're definitely going to switch over your strap. All right, so we take our right hand out in front of us, palm face up. And we take our other hand like a C-clamp and grab that bicep. We talked about this a little bit on Monday, so this is a great way to just experience it. And as you turn that bicep up, that inner, the inner thumb moves up. You can grab that any way you want, but the inner edge grabs up. I don't want the thumb to spill. I want you to think of that hand as still holding, a weight tray so that you don't spill anything, even as that external rotation happens. And we stay here for a while just to imprint that movement, because sometimes there's resistance inside the body. And then you inhale, sweep that up overhead, and you keep that external rotation even as you reach up. One more breath. Can you pull it? Can you turn it? Beautiful. And then bend the elbow. You grab that elbow with the opposite hand, maybe rest the wrist on the crown so that the crown can still extend, and then you gently lift that elbow and drop the hand down the back. And if you need to give yourself a little pat on the back for coming to yoga and trying all these new things, go ahead and do that. One more breath. Okay, the other hand sneaks on down and it turns inwardly, so the thumb points down and it sweeps back and up and around. And now each hand grabs the strap, or if you have that capability, you reach for your fingertips. I don't know about you, but you have to really use your imagination to see that this is cow face pose. But if you've probably seen pictures of a cow where one ear is up and one ear is down, that's what this pose is supposed to feel like. And cows are very sacred in India. So we'll call this kind of a sacred pose of opening the shoulders. And I like to rest my back ribs back on that back wrist. And then my inner rotation of the bottom arm, external rotation of the top arm. Top elbow moves up, bottom elbow moves down. And this can be one of those poses that staying with the discomfort is really a challenge. So really find your alignment, find your breath, and find your patience. And it's good to start with something that's really challenging so that everything else pales in comparison. Exhale gently, release. Whew. And I highly recommend that pose. I avoided that pose like a plague in the first part of my yoga practice. And when I finally embraced it, boy, what a difference it made on my shoulders. Go ahead and inhale your arms straight out to the side. Exhale, left over the top, single or double wrap. Squeeze those elbows together as if you're trying to push them apart and open up that space in the upper back. Inhale, lift your elbows. Exhale, drop elbows to belly button this time. Really squeeze in there. Find your abdominals, pick them up, draw them in, and stay here for another breath. We're opening up all those tight places in the body. Takes a lot of patience and a lot of courage. Inhale, the arms come straight up overhead, and then a big sweep around. Beautiful job. Roll the shoulders. Cleansing breath. If you wanted to ever just pick one pose in a practice, there's lots of ones you could pick. Come to tabletop. Turn your fingertips backwards. But sometimes it's nice to just pick one pose that even if you didn't do a full practice, maybe you just added that pose into your world every day just to notice what might happen. Toes are tucked under. We grab each finger, some thumb, pointer, middle, ring, and pinky like we're squeezing a grapefruit. And we breathe. We're going to transfer our weight to our left knee. Stretch our right leg out behind us. Push forward till you feel the muscles engaging. And then lift that leg off the floor. Press down with your fingertips or your hands and pull your abdominals up. Good, just feel that work. You're gonna bend the back knee and just lift the foot like it's a weight tray now. So it's flat to the sky and you just breathe it up until you feel some engagement happening, core work too. Good, and then release that down and very slowly peel back on those wrists, feeling all the stretch underneath that hand. Beautiful, and then from there just sparkle your fingers, sparkle, sparkle. Send out little sparkles of energy around you. Why not? Okay, here we go. Second time, second side. So you take your fingertips behind you. Squeeze thumb, pointer, middle, ring, and pinky. Transfer your weight more to your right knee. Stretch your left leg out behind you. Activate all the muscles and your abdominals, that whole front line of the body. When that left leg feels really strong, just lift it straight off the floor. Breathe here. Keep working the abdominals in and up. And then bend that knee and weight tray that foot. Try to hold something flat on that and lift up until you feel the engagement of the back body. Match that with ribs and belly. And then release that down, toes tucked under, very slowly unpeel the wrists. And now you just take them and gently flap them and sweep them. Sweep them. I don't know where I got that word from. Shake them, wiggle them. All right. We're going to keep our toes tucked under. We're going to take them nice and wide on the sticky mat. And from here, fingertips just push you back onto your heels and up to standing. Walk your feet all the way to the edge of the mat. Bend your knees deeply. And then bring your elbows to your knees. And from here, just press the feet on the floor. Imagine they're also suction cupping. So there's this sense of pulling the energy up the legs and widening out the sitting bones. You're going to try to split that mat apart, and you're going to try to come down a little bit. Keep splitting that mat apart, really waking up our legs here. One more breath. You don't have to come into full squat. And then from there, just find the floor, rock yourself forward, and find a downward facing dog. And in this dog, come up to tippy toes, and then drop the heels to the floor. Take your, come up to tippy toes one more time, sorry. Take your right heel to the floor. And then take your right heel and spin it in just an inch or so. And stretch into that leg. You can let the hips go off to the left a little bit. Just getting in that outer hamstring. And then inhale, come up to tippy toes. Keep your right foot tippy toes. Drop and bend the knee. Drop your left heel to the floor. And then take it inwardly. And let the hips swing over towards the right. Beautiful. Take another breath there. Inhale to tippy toes. Exhale, both heels to the floor. Downward facing dog. Feel that stretching of hamstrings. Can you soften elbows and knees and feel that suction cup-like energy and bring that up the body? All right, drop your knees to the floor. We're going to take a break from that, and because I want you to feel the difference now. So come onto your backs with your knees bent and your feet flat on the floor. Take a breath there just to arrive. And then as you sit there, I want you to tip your sitting bones forward so that you feel a little lumbar lift. So you tip them down towards the ground or towards your heels. And then tip the sitting bones up until the low back flattens onto the mat. So I'm sure you figured out already, or you know from practice, that this is cow-cat. So go ahead and tilt the sitting bones forward towards the heels. Feel that arch coming into the spine. And then exhale, tilt them up until the back gets super flat on the floor and the sitting bones actually point towards the backs of the knees. A couple more just like that. Inhaling cow. Exhaling cat. Inhaling cow. Exhaling cat. Beautiful. Go ahead and release that and bring your left knee into the chest. And now notice what this is for you. Is it more cat or is it more cow? Most of us, this is more cat. So keep that knee towards the chest and make cow tilt. So tilt the sitting bones down and breathe in. Exhale, bring that knee in, tilt the sitting bones up, cat tilt. And we're just adding a little movement of cow and cat in these poses just to see how it facilitates the movement as you go back and forth. So you're not grinding on the body, and when we're in positions that we hold for a long time, you want to notice that there's a balance of these two actions. So see if you can find the place of the middle, not cat and not cow. There's a little lumbar lift, but there's also strong core action. And then you bring that knee towards the chest. You might not get as far, but you might also notice that the backs of your hips are a little more square. I'll just take a moment to imprint that and feel into that and breathe into that and feel the patience that happens over time. And we bring in our attention, our alignment. Good, last breath. And release. Woo, take it slowly, beautiful. Here we go, second side. So inhale, bring your right knee into the chest and let it go right into cat tilt. And then move it into cow tilt. And just go back and forth like that. Can you inhale as you move into cow? Can you exhale when you move into cat? All right, now move towards cow tilt so those sitting bones drop down, but then find the place of the middle that's neither cow nor cat. The abdominals have to draw in. Keep that. And then bring the knee closer to the chest. It's going to be a little harder. And I want you to feel the squareness of your hips on the mat. So the backs of the hips, instead of feeling one super heavy, see if you can even it out. Breathe. Breathe into the discomfort, but draw more energy into abdominal action. And deep, full breath into anything that's tight. More breath. You'll notice that over time things shift and change and little parts of the body let go that we're holding on for some reason that we'll probably never know. And then gently release. Beautiful. Take a cleansing breath. You can cow and you can cat. Inhale, bring the left knee to the chest. Find your neutral spine right away and extend your right leg out. And this time I don't want the right leg to touch the floor, but I'm going to ask you to weight bear on the back of your head. So instead of your chin flying up to the sky, keep it in and then weight bear. Press down so your shoulders lift off. Keep that neutral spine and start to extend the pose out through your right heel and the crown of your head. One more breath. And release. Bend the right knee. Open the left knee out to the side and grab your right ankle and place it across for Sukhi Randrasana. And then we'll do the same thing. So we'll move into cow, tilting the sitting bones down, and we'll move into cat, tilting the sitting bones up. And then you just go back and forth using your breath. It's like an exploration. You don't need to force the edge of the pose. You just move into what's mostly comfortable for a moment here. And then come to neutral spine. See if you can find where you're neither cow, you're neither cat, but the lumbar spine is lifted and supported by the belly. Now take your left hand and place it on your left knee and start to push it away. And notice if you tilt. If you do, come back to center. So you'll notice that if you don't tilt, you're going to have to put a little more pressure with your left ankle on the right knee so you feel this strong action towards center. One more breath here. And notice what else has to come into play when you don't tilt. When you tilt, it's like you're saving your body from the stretch. But keeping it aligned then moves it to where it belongs. Beautiful. And release that. Bring your left knee into your chest again. Stretch your right leg out. This time you're going to let go of your knee so your arms are straight out in T. And you're going to make little circles with your knee. And you're going to see how round, not how big, but how round you can draw a circle in the sky above you with that knee. So it gets harder when we go bigger. And then you have to really work to keep your alignment. So just go as far as you can maintain so that you don't rock left and right. And you still feel that core work, but you feel the resistance and where it is in the hip, and you're just getting your mind to see and feel and taste that circle without rocking. You're using your abdominals. One more. Good. Place that foot on the floor. Bring your other foot up to meet it. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. All right, let's try that whole thing second side. So bringing your right knee up into the chest, hugging it. Extending your left leg out straight, this time hovering. And then making sure that your chin doesn't fly up to the sky, weight bear with the back of your head. And then you're going to extend through the left heel and see if you can extend through the crown. And if you're weight bearing on your head, then your shoulders are coming off and you're creating strength into the neck so that it understands its place in line with the spine. Last breath. And then very gently release. You're going to bring that right knee into the chest, and now you can straighten the left leg. Oops, I'm sorry. Let's do our Sukhi Randrasana. Bend the left leg. Take the right knee out to the side. Cross the ankle over your left knee. And then begin to press on that right knee, and just notice how you want to tilt. And see if you can avoid that by drawing more muscle energy onto the body, into the core. You're neither in cow nor are you in cat. You're in neutral spine here, and you're just feeling that stretch. And we just stay here over time. It's really nice to feel these things in these non-weight bearing poses so we get really clear, and when we move into weight bearing poses, we understand where our bodies belong more optimally. Just pressing over time, you might notice some things shifting. I notice I have to use my right ankle firmly on my left knee here so that I don't tilt. Beautiful. Let's gently release out of that. Bring that knee into the chest. Stretch out your left leg. Arms go out to the side like a T and start to draw little circles. And sometimes those little circles are harder where you find where you can't get to in that circle. And just notice where that is. For me, it's in the inner upper edge. It's like, oh, I have to really work to get into that edge. So notice where it's difficult for you. And take your time. Add your breath. So often we want to do these really big movements, but I find some of these really small ones are way more profound. Couple more circles. Beautiful. Release that foot to the floor. Walk the other foot up to meet it. Walk your right foot into the center of the mat. Take your left leg over top. Press down with your right foot and swing your hips to the left and place them down. Then gently draw your knees to the right in a little twist. When you get to your place of, that's the end of your movement. There's a little maybe discomfort or just there's an end of your movement. I want you to relax your left shoulder down. Let it go. And then imagine that you have a little teeny ball in between your thighs, and you're just going to squeeze it. And so this squeezing action of the inner thighs is really good for the body. It really signals that you're drawing strongly around the base of the spine, and it's safe. So a couple more squeezes there. Even if you have to squeeze and release, it's waking up those inner thighs. And it's like the precursor to Kegels, right? You're getting those inner thighs to wake up. One more breath. And you might even notice that you get a little release somewhere in the belly when you squeeze there. It allows structures that are holding on for dear life to release. And gently come on back to center. Unravel those legs. And square yourself off on the mat, even if you have to look up to make sure. And take a cleansing breath and just notice how that feels in the body. And then switch sides. So you're going to drape your right leg over your left. You'll root down with that left foot. Swing your hips up and off to the right. Drop your knees to the left. Drop your right shoulder. Let it go. And then begin to squeeze that little ball in between the thighs. Even again, if it's a squeeze and release. If you can't maintain the squeezing, then just squeeze and release. Another good way for really starting to stretch and engage the psoas. These deep, deep core muscles that are so involved in contraction that sometimes they hold on to fear and resentment and some of those difficult emotions, and they hold you captive, and you never can figure out why your back hurts. And sometimes it's just strong belly muscles that are not in alignment or equal engagement. Another couple squeezes and releases. And then inhale, come on back. Unravel your legs. Bring your knees into the chest and give me a couple opposing circles for just a simple cat-cow, just relieving that, all that effort, go the other way. Good, and now hug the knees in and curl as high as you can. Make yourself into a teeny, teeny little ball. And then if you can, start to roll. It can start really softly by just lifting your hips up off the floor maybe it stays there, or maybe you start rolling all the way up to sitting. If you get all the way up to sitting, cross your ankles and just glide your way forward and through, and then we'll step back and we'll take a cow tilt, inhaling on tabletop, and then exhaling downward facing dog. Now you know all about your cat and your cow. So see if in your downward facing dog you can lift the sitting bones. See if you can drop the sitting bones. See if you can lift the sitting bones. And you'll notice you'll get a nice different stretch when you lift the sitting bones than when you drop them. Keep going, inhaling and exhaling. Okay, we're going to finish up with an inhale. So we lift the sitting bones. We're going to get go our hands and our feet and our core into the body, and then stretch your spine. Beautiful. Inhale to tippy toes. Walk your way to the front of the mat, Uttanasana, standing forward fold. Inhale halfway up, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Utkatasana. Use your strong legs to arch the spine. Try a cow tilt, try a cat tilt. Try a cow tilt, try a cat tilt. Notice which one is more of your style. And if you're more of the style of cat tilt, I want you to move into cow tilt. And if your style is more into cow tilt, that's a lot of words, hope you tracked me there, you might have to add more abdominals. Good, and then press up to standing. Exhale, release your hands. Inhale, fly your arms up overhead, grab your right wrist, bow over to the side, soften your knees, suction cup your energy up the body. Stay here for 2 more breaths. We're staying with discomfort, and we're seeing if we can pull in more abdominal energy, more breath, and more patience over time. Last one. Inhale, root down to rise. Exhale, release. Roll the shoulders, cleansing breath. Beautiful. Here we go. Second side. Inhaling. Exhaling, grabbing and pulling, softening knees, drawing in abdominals. Notice your sits bones just for fun. Stay here over time, feeling what needs to stretch, what needs to engage, and what needs to let go. Last breath. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, swan dive forward over your strong legs. Bow here, taking a few more breaths just to feel that stretch of the hamstrings. Feel like a gecko. Draw the energy, suction, cup it up your legs into your sits bones, and see if you can take more of a cow tilt. It's a little bit of a challenge here, but it's worth a try. You'll notice a different stretch. Inhale halfway up, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, right leg back to a lunge. And I highly recommend blocks because we're going to be here for a little bit. So grab some blocks if you need them. If you don't, fingertips on the floor. And you're going to just draw your knee, your outer knee, into your outer arm there. And they're going to just draw together to bring a little isometric action. The legs push your heart forward. The abdominals engage, and you just breathe here. Keep your legs active, drawing muscle energy from the legs all the way into the hips. Don't let those hips hang. See where you can bring more clarity up into the body. More awareness into what's active. Last breath. Beautiful. Start to rock forward and back. Uttanasana. When you get there, I want you to take a moment to notice the difference in texture left to right. And maybe even notice a difference in your stretch. And it's funny because we weren't doing a hamstring stretch, but I noticed that I feel more flexible now on my left side. So engaging that side allows it also to more completely relax. Inhale, push yourself up halfway, Ardha Uttanasana, heart forward. Exhale, bend the knees. Take your right leg back to a bent, take your left leg back to a bent knee lunge. Use blocks if you need to, there's no shame in that. Make sure that the hips don't hang forward, but there's that suction cup-like effort that brings the energy up the body instead of down. And the right arm is on the outside of the right leg, and there's an isometric action there. They're pushing together. The belly lifts, we breathe patiently. Those long deep breaths in and those long exhales out. Where can you send more breath? Where could you be more engaged? Beautiful. From here, we're going to rock forward and back to Uttanasana, standing forward fold. Just so you have a chance to see how that matches up as you bow forward. You feel more of a stretch now, equally left and right. One more breath. Inhale, halfway up, Ardha Uttanasana. Bend the knees, right leg goes back to a bent knee lunge. This time, you're going to walk your hands onto the front knee. Again, don't let those hips hang. I want that back leg to be almost vertical. Push down with your hands and isometrically traction forward to bring in some muscle energy into the belly. Feel both of the feet and bring that energy up into the body. Beautiful. If you do this with nice core action, you might feel a little stretch through your back leg, the front of the back leg. That's one of the goals of this practice, of this pose. Inhale, sweep your arms up overhead, grab your right wrist, lift up out of your waistline and bow over to the left. Don't let the hips drop forward. Suction cup those feet and draw them back. Breathe. If you feel discomfort, pull in more muscle action. That's what keeps you safe. One more breath. Beautiful. Gently release. We'll rock it forward and back to Uttanasana, just to notice if that shifted the way that pose feels. Uttanasana. Take another breath. Inhale, halfway up, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, bend the knees, left leg back to a lunge. Blocks are okay here if you need them, or you walk up onto that front knee, and you press down isometrically and traction forward. So the abdominals are more likely that with that tractioning effort to drop in. And you make sure that the hips are slightly moving back and slightly moving apart. Last breath here. Hopefully you're feeling a little thigh stretch in that back leg. Takes a lot of abdominal centering to make that happen. Let the arms fly down and up, inhaling. Grab the left wrist and bow over to the right. Don't let those hips fall forward. They're going to want to. You got to suction that energy of the legs back. Stretch. Couple more breaths. You can do it. Strong core action, strong leg action. Last breath. And gently release. From here, we'll step right back into plank. So take that right leg back to meet the left. Can you make your fingers like gecko hands, like suction cup hands? Can you make your legs just that strong? Can you pull your belly, your ribs, and your sternum away from the floor? And can you melt the back of your neck? Whoa, so much to do here. Your arms are just like pillars, and your weight is just, it's not sinking, it's not sagging. There's a little energy pulling up. One more breath. Can you come down onto one forearm at a time? Here we go. All the way down to forearm plank. Same thing. Stay here, breathing. Feel the legs getting stronger. Feel the core getting stronger. Pull even up the neck and soften behind. Woo! Drop your hips, your legs, I can barely talk, and your hips to the floor. Come on down. Rest your forehead on your hands and just do a left and right wiggle. Ah, let go of any tension through your voice is a great way to do it. Keep rocking. Let go. When we work that way, it can feel like a lot of effort, and so it's really nice to balance it with just some free movement. Even let your head go. All right, rest. Feel the tingling, feel the sensation moving through your body. Bend your knees. Make your weight tray on your feet. Come up onto forearms. Make your legs strong and active to the midline. There, you can use that little ball squeezing action between the thighs. And you can squeeze and release if just holding it is hard. And then take your forearms, press them down and drag them isometrically forward. Sometimes that'll just bring a little more core effort to save the spine. Make sure it's active. Make sure the belly is working. One more breath. Hamstrings are firing, little back bend. Beautiful. Release everything down and take a cleansing breath. All right, you're going to rock left and right, bringing your thighs underneath you, and you're going to bring your right forearm parallel to the front of the mat. Ekapada Bhujangasana is the name of this pose, if I'm not mistaken. You're going to reach back and find that left foot and draw it in to your body. And remember, if that you squeeze that little teeny ball in between your thighs, that'll fire up the core and make this a safer pose for you. One more breath. Beautiful, and gently release. I'm going to switch sides. So the left forearm is square off to the front of the mat, and kick up the right foot, reach on back, grab that foot, draw it in. Squeeze those inner thighs. It'll also make your spine longer, so it'll lift you up a little bit. You always want to have support on that low spine, squeezing and releasing if you can't just hold steady. Can you soften the back of your neck? One more breath. And gently release. You're going to push up onto your forearms and then just kind of walk yourself back with toes tucked under. It's going to be a toes tucked under child's pose. So the knees can be wide apart, but the toes are tucked under, and you sit on back. And breathe. And I'm just on my forearms here. I don't feel like I need to go any farther, but you could stretch your arms straight out and come onto fingertips. Just make it work for you. And breathe into anything that's tight. Let the forehead rest on the floor. And see if you can give the lowest part of your spine some support, because this is also an opportunity for us to traction and take congestion out of the low back. Last breath. Inhale to hands and knees. Exhale, downward facing dog. One more breath. Bring your feet together on the sticky mat in downward facing dog. Inhale your left leg up to the sky, bend the knee and open that knee to the right. So it's almost like you're trying to stack right hip over left hip. See if you can keep the left shoulder from collapsing by suction cup. Do the get-go hands. Bring that energy up into the shoulders. And then inhale, extend that leg to the sky, and exhale, bring it down. Let's try second side. So right foot to the center of the mat. Inhale, left leg up. Exhale, bend the knee and open the knee up to the left. Try not to collapse in right arm, so get-go those fingers. Keep trying to stack the left hip over the right. And inhale, stretch that leg up to the sky. Exhale, bring it down. Walk yourself forward to the front of the mat, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway up, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Utkatasana. Know your style. Are you a cat tilter? If you are, become a cow tilter. If you're a cow tilter, bring in more abdominals. Inhale, come up to standing. Exhale, release. Inhale, fly. Exhale, dive, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway up, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, bend your knees. Take your right leg back to a straight leg lunge. You can look underneath you if you need to, but anchor that back heel. So now it's square to the back of the mat. Bring your left elbow to your left knee. Take a moment and walk your right hand to the right. You can use a block here if you need to. I'm going to switch around. Feels a little more polite. Yep, and you're just going to get a stretch between those inner legs. So you're not trying to drop the legs down. You're trying to get-go those feet and open the hips up as you move to the right. Your left elbow, it's there to keep that left knee tracking over second and third toes. Okay, once you've got that, you can weight bear on that left elbow and open your right arm to the sky. Utthita Parshvanottanasana. Now, make the legs super strong. You're just going to push and come on up to Warrior Two. Inhale here. As we exhale, we're going to come back to Utthita. Nice long line through that right side of the body. Look down, press strongly, legs don't change, they get stronger, and you come up, inhaling. Exhaling, back to Utthita. Look down at the front foot, legs stay just that strong. They root down into the earth, and we come up, inhaling. Exhaling, Utthita. Last one, look down if you need to, make the legs just that strong. Root down to come on up. Beautiful, stretch that left leg towards straight. Whew, release your arms and just roll the shoulders, cleansing breath. We'll go here into triangle, so inhaling up, take the left hand down the leg and just let it glide down to where you feel comfortable. If you want a block, blocks are really nice here. You can put the block behind your leg. Look down at the front foot and remember that suction cup work. Can you do that? Can you bring that energy all the way up the legs, maybe even all the way up to the belly button? See if it changes the way your pose shapes itself. Breathe. If you notice that you're in the pose for a while, you might notice you open and you can take the block down one level, but maybe not. You're just bringing up that energy up the legs. I know it's uncomfortable, but you're not gonna expire from this. You're just gonna get stronger. One more breath. Beautiful. Bend the front knee. Whew. Let's turn towards the long edge of the mat for Prasarita Padottanasana. You can bring a block with you if you want and just bow forward, hanging forward over those legs. You'll just get a chance here to notice what's the difference between your right and left leg here. So it's nice to kind of feel how you're so much more free in that left leg. Take one more breath. Beautiful. And then walk over towards the right so that we can repeat that. You're going to turn the right foot out and the left foot square to the back of the mat. If you have a block, you might want to get it set up so where it's handy. You're going to bring the left elbow to the, that's your right elbow. Bring that right to the right knee, and your left hand is going to come straight out, almost like, not quite downward facing dog, but a little bit like that. And then again, the hips don't drop, but they stay pulling up, and your right elbow is keeping your right knee in the right proper alignment there. So it's always faced over the second and third toes. And you just breathe there. You can pull your abdominals up. And this might be a pose that causes you consternation if it's uncomfortable. Try to stay with it. We're going to root down with both feet. Lift that left arm up off the floor and take it out to the sky to Utthita Parshvanottanasana, overhead, till you're one long line. Look down at your front leg. Make sure that knee is tracking, and then push strongly down and come up into Warrior Two. Inhale. Take the elbow to the knee. Exhale, look down, push down. Don't change the legs, they just get stronger, Warrior. Inhale, Utthita. Look down. Exhale, Warrior. Really press those legs. Inhale, last one, Utthita. Exhale, press and come into Warrior. Beautiful, straighten that front leg. Take a breath, roll the shoulders. You made it. Beautiful. Here we go to triangle. The right hand drips down that leg, and it can just stay on the shin or the ankle or a block if you have something handy. And you make those legs super strong. You think gecko. You think like you've got to hang on these legs upside down. Open the left arm to the sky and just work those strong legs, bringing that energy all the way up. I like to think of bringing it all the way up to belly button. That's what the energy of the legs, energetically, that's where they begin. Right where thoracic and lumbar spine come together. One more breath. Beautiful. Release that. You can bend the right knee, turn both feet towards the long edge of the mat. Take Pavritta Janu. Inhale, your hands behind the back, interlace them, squeeze them towards the sky, soften the back of the neck, and bow forward. Keep breathing into anything that's tight. Last breath. And release the hands to the floor. Walk over to your right knee, bend it deeply, side lunge, and then press that foot into the floor and walk over to your other leg. Side lunge. Now you have the option either to keep your fingers on the floor and walk yourself left or right, or you could make like a little prayer, or you can make a little Ganesha mudra, and you just move back and forth, feeling the strength of those legs come into play. Feel that strength even moving all the way up into the gluteals. Super good for you. You could even slow it way down if you really wanted to feel into how that pose works in your body. So yogi's choice. If you're in Ganesha Mudra, switch. Beautiful. And release. Both legs straight. Bow forward. One more breath. Beautiful. You're just going to walk your hands forward. Bring your legs in. Come down to Vajrasana. take a well-deserved rest. Hands in the lap. Take a cleansing breath. And another. Okay, you should be really ready for this next pose, which can be kind of a challenge. Have a block handy and have a strap handy. And you're going to take your legs out for the first discovery is going to be with the legs out straight. So in Upavishta Konasana. And sometimes I like to put my hands underneath my knees and just lift a little so that I'm realizing I'm not locking out. So that I lift a little, my heels are down, my toes are pointed straight up, and then I can bring my hands back and bring the sitting bones back and apart. Now, if I find myself sitting there and I'm rounded in the spine, I definitely want a blanket underneath my hips. And then I just gently start to hinge. So that's the cow shape, right? The hinge is the cow shape. So we see if we can bring that lumbar spine in and up. If you're a lumbar curver, that's easy for you. You're going to need to bring in more abdominals. If you're more of a cat shape back, then you're going to need to really work at hinging the hips forward. Breathe here. And I'm never locking out my knees. I'm keeping them micro bent. You can always have a block if you want for your forehead or a tower. But keep working the legs and the abdominals. Got a couple more breaths. You can do it. Remember those long, steady breaths. Beautiful. Walk yourself up. Reach your hands underneath your knees and just bend them one at a time. Take a cleansing breath. You're actually going to bring your feet close to you just for a moment, crossing your ankles. Grab around your shins and then inhale and see if you can make that cow shape in the base of your spine. See if you can bring in your abdominals. One more breath. Okay. One of my favorite poses is, I can't even tell you the name of it, but you probably need a block, and you might need a blanket underneath your hips. You're definitely going to need a strap, or I think you will. So I put the block, I have my left leg out straight, my right leg bent, and my right foot, my heel is right into my groin there, right into my pubic bone. The little toes are almost tucked under my other thigh. I have a block right by my inner shin. And the cool thing about this is it can be flat, it can be the next level, or it can be the highest level. You're just going to have to figure that out. And then you take your strap and you wrap it around that straight-legged foot. And the same arm as leg is going to reach along for that strap to get as close to that foot as you can. If you're more flexible, you're welcome to piece finger wrap around the big toe. The elbow then can rest on the block. Okay? Now you're going to take your other hand and you make like a bow and arrow. So you're going to grab that strap where your other hand is, and then you're going to pull back and open the spine. And just breathe into that for a moment and notice the twist happening. Make the legs strong, make the core strong, and breathe. Now if that feels good, but you'd like a little bit more, the next part of the pose is to walk your hand down the strap and open the elbow to the sky. Or maybe there's some of us, I can barely do it, but I can grab my thumb and I can open that way without the strap. So you just have to play around with it. But it's first the cow tilt, then the cat tilt, or the abdominals, the suction cupping of the legs and arms into core, and the breathing into the discomfort. breath. I think it's called Pavritta Janu Sirsasana. Yeah, that's what it's called. And come on out of the pose. We're going to do that twice on each side because it gets easier as you kind of figure it out and as the body figures it out. So go ahead and bring in your left leg in and your right leg out. You're going to tuck in the left toes almost underneath your thigh, so the heel's in line with the pubic bone there. The block comes right at the shin, if you need it, the inner shin, and the strap lassos the left foot. And the first part is just to feel what it would feel like to grab that strap with the same arm as leg, or peace finger around the big toe, depending upon your stretch. And then just take a moment to feel the cow tilt, feel the abdominals matching that, and then if you want, it's like a bow and arrow, you draw that other arm back so that you start to feel like a twist. So you can start it way down, and then you just pull it. You just travel along the length of that strap. And you just feel what that would feel like. Or you can take it up overhead and feel that, or you can try to reach up and over and grab the other hand, but you go cow tilt, strong abdominals, opening up side body breath. Stay with it. Think cow tilt. Think strong abdominals. Stretch and breathe. And gently release. Take a pause, take a breath. You can bring your legs in for a moment. Okay, we're going to try it again so that you can just get it in little increments. You don't have to do the whole thing at once, you can just get pieces of it. You're going to bring your right leg into your groin, your left leg out straight. Pavritta means twist. Janu Sirsasana is head to knee pose, something like that, I forget. All right, and block is on the inner shin. Go ahead and reach for that big toe, either with your strap or without. Once you get that position, think cow tilt, think cat tilt, always in that order. And then if you want to grab your strap, you do it close to where you're holding it, and then your other arm pulls up and back like an archer. Or you reach over the top and just stretch. Lots of different ways to do it. If you can reach down and grab a thumb or a finger, you can take that and open it. Think cow tilt. Think cat tilt. And breathe. Stay with the discomfort, because over time the body will open. You'll find openings that you never knew existed. You'll find new skills, new patiences. One more breath. Is that a word, patiences? Not. One more breath here. Note where you feel the restriction. For me, it's really up in the lats. Right in here is where I feel like I'm not getting much movement, but everybody's different. My hamstrings are pretty open. You might feel it in your hamstrings. So bring it in, almost there, second side. I know you're doing a good job just trying to do what you can do. Use the props that you have. Left leg in, right leg out. Reach it down. Find your strap or your peace fingers. Take a breath. Let your body adapt to the pose. Think cow tilt. Think cat tilt. Sweep the other arm or grab your strap and pull. Either way, up and over. Breathing through the discomfort, finding your strong alignment, your strong core, your patience. last breath. And gently release. Way to go, way to go. Now it's a difficult pose. Let's bring that leg in. Let's just find a sitting position that's comfortable. And let's just take a quiet moment to let that sink in. Find your way onto your back. Have your strap handy. We'll have a little time to do Supta Padangusthasana, hand to big toe pose. Supta, reclining. Knees bent, feet flat on the floor. Take your strap and lasso your right foot. Make sure that that lasso is right around the ball of the foot. And then press that leg towards straight. So that means vertical is what I mean by straight in that context. And then go cow tilt. And then go cat tilt. Just feeling those two movements with that leg straight. One more. Beautiful. And then take the strap in your left hand, rock onto your left side, take your right hand out in T, and your left leg comes parallel to the floor. See if you can release the right shoulder down. Breathe. See if you can stretch through your right fingers and your right heel. Breathe. Keep breathing. One more breath. And then abdominals are strong. We sweep that leg up to the sky. We take it out to the side, both knees. So we've got a perfect V here. You're going to curl up, release the strap from your hands, and reach through your legs. And as you go V, as you go wide, see if you can reach farther. V wide and farther reach. And release it out. Beautiful. Bring that foot down. Take a cleansing breath. See how you're doing. Shall we go second side? Left leg is strapped around the ball of the foot. Keep that leg vertical, so not too far to your face. And then go cow tilt and cat tilt. And just keep going for the next few moments, feeling the backs of your hips square. Finish up with a cow tilt so that the sitting bones are dropping down and extend through that left heel. Then take the strap in your right hand and come across the body in a twist. Left arm is in T. Left heel is extending. Left leg is parallel to the floor. Breathe. Can you find that little inner thigh ball squeeze? That'll really relieve the pressure off of IT bands. So if anybody experiences really tight IT bands, it's usually because the inner thighs are weak and they're not doing their supportive job of the spine. So the IT bands get recruited. They get recruited to stabilize the pelvis. So the only way to get those IT bands to release, we can massage them and try to get them released, but until we strengthen those inner thighs, then they'll feel supported enough to let go. But it has to be that concerted effort, so that little ball squeeze. And you can squeeze and release, squeeze and release. Sometimes that's easier than just trying to hold it. One more breath. Inhale, sweep it up to the sky. Take your legs out in a V. Equal V there with the bent knee and the straight leg. And then reach through.
And as you widen the V, can you reach farther through the legs? Widen the V. Exhale, reach. Widen. Exhale. And release. Release the strap. Take your feet to the floor, as wide as a sticky mat. Drop the knees together. Take a cleansing breath. One more little back bend before we go into Shavasana. We'll start with baby fish. We'll move into Setu Bandha Sarvangasana. Follow along. Elbows are by your side in robot arms. They're just gracing the ribs there. You press down with your feet, your elbows, and your head. Chin stays in, and you arch the spine. And let it happen from deep inside. See if you can bring up the spine into the body. See if you can soften behind the neck. One more breath. Nice. I love that back bend. It's so nice and gentle. You can repeat that, or you can start that and then move that with hips up for Setu Bandha. So we'll start that again, pressing booty, elbows, and head down. And then you're going to have to drop your shoulders down if you want to lift your hips up. But still keep that same action of the spine lifting in an arc. So a lot of times we put all the energy in the legs here, and it does take a lot of energy in the legs, so make them stronger, but then arch the spine up inside the body. If you want to interlace the hands underneath you and roll the shoulders, you can do that. Let's be here for 5 breaths. Either in baby fish or Setu Bandha Sarvangasana. Think about the back bend though. Don't just make the legs try to get the hips high into the sky. They can actually drop down a little bit. When you draw those spinal bones up into the body with your muscular action. One more breath. And release. Beautiful job. Take your feet and just lengthen them out till your legs are straight. Take your arms out to the side. And I want you to just notice how, with no effort, I bet you have a lumbar curve. Yippee-yay. Yippee-yi-yo-ki-yay. Let your shoulders relax down. Begin to move into that deep, deep rest and relaxation pose, corpse pose, or Shavasana. See if your mind can begin to travel inwardly to feel the body resting, to notice where you're not resting. Could be the fingers or the jaw or the toes or the eyeballs or the brain. Pick one thing and see if you can just let it go. Everything go. The mantra for this pose is I let go. Even let your go of the grip of your mind on your breath. See if instead you can let yourself be breathed. Deepen your breath. Just enjoy it for the first few breaths, breathing deeply into the body, inhaling deeply and exhaling completely. Maybe even noticing how the whole body pulsates with that in-breath and that out-breath. And as you're ready, you can start to move your fingers and toes. You can rub your thumbs across the tips of your fingers, bringing your nervous system back awake, not shocking it into movement, but gently coming back to your body. And as you're ready, you can stretch. We'll eventually bend our knees and roll to the right side. And you're certainly welcome to stay there. If you'd like to be there longer, be my guest. You're at home. You get to do whatever you want. Otherwise, we'll make ourselves back up to sitting. We'll meet in prayer, hands in front of the heart. I love the noticings at the end of our practice where the hand meets the hand and really feels it and really knows its relationship to forearms and elbows and shoulders and spine and feet. Everything is unified. So we give thanks that we can come to this practice to experience those feelings. We can come to the practice to try to break through obstacles or into new poses. We give thanks for each other, our companions on the journey, and our teachers who guide us and challenge us. And we take a moment to share some of what we gained and spread it out into the world. And we seal that with a breath and an Om together. Inhaling. The divine within me honors all that is divine within you. Namaste. Thank you all for sharing your practice with me. Like this video, please subscribe to my channel and check out my other videos. Namaste.